Most children are born with the inherent ability or capacity to succeed in life. Now, what determines to a large extent, most times, whether a child will succeed or not is usually the knowledge base of his parents or primary caregivers. Hi, I'm Gozi Okure. Welcome to my channel. In this channel, we celebrate books, knowledge, and how to succeed in life, leveraging faith and books. Please subscribe to my channel. You will love what we do here. I promise you. In today's video, we'll be discussing how to raise highly successful children without overparenting. Now, let's start with understanding what I mean by overparenting. Now, overparenting refers to a situation where parents try to control or help their children excessively, where parents want to determine the outcome of a child's life, getting unduly involved in all their decisions and in everything they do. This usually leads to anxiety, and in some cases it leads to depression. Unfortunately, that is the case with a lot of the 21st century parents. We have a way of trying to control everything our children do. We love the children into ineffectiveness. I remember a story that Bishop Oyedepo told several years ago about a young man that came to him for counseling. The boy was in tears as he shared with the man of God how his father did everything for him and his siblings, and today the man is dead and him and his siblings do not know how to do virtually anything. Okay, so the child was crying. So that is why it's so important to allow our children to breathe, allow our children to take their decisions. They could take wrong decisions, but they will learn and to grow. Life is not a walk in the park. There are so many decisions that needs to be taken. And it's so important that a child learns how to take his decisions early in life so that he can excel and succeed in his endeavors, okay? Reminds me of a story that a particular man told one day. He parked his car under a tree, and as he was trying to enter his car, he noticed a butterfly that was trying to break free from a cocoon. So he said he got interested. He stood there for quite some time watching the butterfly trying so hard to break free from the cocoon. And he said that he was driven by mercy, was driven by compassion to help the emerging butterfly. So he went and gently broke the cocoon and released the butterfly. So where he felt that the butterfly should have flown away, the poor thing just fell to the ground and couldn't fly. Now, what the man didn't know was that the struggles that the butterfly was going through was a part of the process of exercising his wings for flight. So what the man called help ended up being a death sentence for the emerging butterfly. Now, that's a story that illustrates exactly what a lot of parents do in the 21st century. We give our children more help than they desire, and in such doing we raise up highly insecure children, and this shouldn't be the story of your children. Rather, what to do is to do these three things I'm going to discuss with you now. The very first thing that you need to do if you want to raise highly successful children is to give your children an enabling environment for success. Yes, give your children an enabling environment for success. Please subscribe to my channel if you're getting value from this video. Thank you. So how do you give your children an enabling environment for success? Make the home environment one that is knowledge driven. A lot of homes are entertainment driven, and this shouldn't be. Someone said that one thing that chameleons have in common with human babies is that they both take up the environment. They take up the color of the environment where they are. When a child is raised in a home where the parents have given an enabling environment for success, this child learns. And one of the very first things that needs to be done in any environment that is good for success is to give the children a reading culture. Every child should be given an ability to learn how to read, because once a child learns to read, that child will be able to read the necessary books, acquire the necessary skills to excel and to become highly successful in life, okay? But unfortunately, so many parents and caregivers are entertainment driven. They, expose the children to the screen. They expose the children to all manner of entertainment based programs, and at the end of the day, the child is entertainment driven. And entertainment driven children usually do not end up in success zones. They end up in failure zones, and this shouldn't be your child. That's why you must give the child an enabling environment by putting books in his hands early in life. Now, having said earlier that children do what they see us do, now that tells me that a parent who wants to raise highly successful children should be seen reading. Every parent should read. Children do what they see us do. They do not do what we say. There's a very wise quote that says that you should not be concerned, you should not worry that your child is not listening to you. Rather, you should be worried that the child is watching what you do. So when you hold the remote and you watch entertainment-based program from morning till night, and you're telling the child to read, you know that that child will not read. He will do what you do. That's why it's so important that you make up your mind to become a knowledge-driven parent. Pick up books and read. I hear some people say that they are not good in reading. And I say that there is a book somewhere for everyone. There is a book you will love to read. So get it so that your children can copy you. They can emulate you and become successful by being knowledge-driven. Now, another dimension to providing children with an enabling environment is to make sure that as parents, you observe your children while they're still young, find out the areas of their giftings. You know, I've already said that children are born with an inherent ability. There's a God deposit in every child. There is an inclination that is from God that is put in the child, a deposit, a gifting, or whatever you call it, but there is something, an input from God that is in the child, that child will begin to give expression to. If you provide him with an enabling environment, give that child books early, put pencils in his hand, buy sketchbooks, begin to watch that child, you will notice the area of his gifting. Now, encourage that child to begin to develop along that area of his gifting. When a child is gifted in creativity, gifted in the arts, don't push that child to become a doctor. Push children to professions or to courses that are in alignment with their natural endowments, natural giftings. That way, they will not have to struggle to succeed. They will simply soar in that direction because that is the area that God has gifted them, okay? So this is so very important. Now, having done this, the next thing you need to do in order to ensure that your children succeed in life is to love your children unconditionally. I hope you're loving this video. Please click the like button so that this video can enter into the hands of so many more parents. Thank you. Yes, love your children unconditionally. Your love for your children should not be dependent on the grades they get in school. It should not be dependent on the scores that the child comes up in the school. Maybe when a child gets an A, he's a good child. You praise him and sing praises. But the day he gets a B or C, you will begin to call him names, right? That shouldn't be. We are not encouraging children to get a C, but it does happen once in a while. There could be one thing or the other that can make a child not to get an A. Do you get? Okay, so let your love for a child be unconditional. Whether he's having A or he's getting a C, your child is loved. Show that child that he is loved. Be positive. Be encouraging. Call your children beautiful names. You are an authority figure over your children. Whatever name you call them, that's what they become. So ensure that you are positive, and the way you speak to your children become their inner voice. And this is very important because what we say to our children does not end when we say it, because they go out pondering on those things, dwelling on them. Those things you say to your children become their inner voice. So when you tell a child that he's a star, he thinks about it, he believes it, and eventually he becomes that, okay? You tell a child that he's amazing, he believes it, and he eventually becomes that. But when you begin to tell a child, call a child names, tell him he's dumb, you raise a child who is highly insecure, and this child will not be able to succeed that way. So just make sure that you are the prophet for your child. Call him beautiful names, and he will end up being what you call him, okay? Now, having said that, the next thing that we need to do in order to raise highly successful children is to introduce your children to God, who is the author of success. Now, there was a video clip I watched some years back where a man was with his toddler daughter. The daughter came to the father and said, "Daddy, how did man come into the world? How did we get here?" And the man said, "We evolved from monkeys." The child left, went to her mom and asked the same question, "Mommy, how did human beings get into this world?" And the mother said, "We are created by God." And the poor child said, "But daddy says that we evolved from monkeys." And the woman said, "Your daddy is right. He came from monkeys, but me and you, we are created by God." Okay, so on which side of this story do you find yourself? Do you believe you came from monkeys, or you are created by God? It's so important that a child is made to have a relationship with God, who is the author of success. Now, someone said that one of the names of God, one of the meanings of the word father is source. A father means is the source. So when a child believes that God is the source of her motivation, source of her strength, source of her wisdom, source of her encouragement, it helps a lot. So please, in giving your children everything you give them faith, give them, the ability to believe in God. It makes a lot of difference in their journey towards success, okay? So we have seen the danger in overparenting. We have equally seen that to raise highly successful children, that you need to give them an enabling environment. We've seen that you need to love your children unconditionally, and that we need to introduce them to the Almighty God. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful video. I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you've not done so, give me a thumbs up and endeavor to share this link with other parents, and so that they can get this value as well. Till I come your way next time, remain richly blessed.